Just letting you know, down this hallway right there, there's a power node, but if you go down that way to pick it up, the 2 lurkers will pop up, and then you'll have to contend with them. So I don't need a power node, so I'm not going to go that way. But anyways, this is Rails88, and this is my Dead Space Remake hard mode restricted run. And this is Chapter 3, Course Correction, the second part. And if you want to know what the restrictions are, they're in the title of the video. And, you know, I've already discussed them in my earlier videos. But anyways, we're going to enter this 0G gravity section. And I don't know why I'm saying 0G gravity, because the G in 0 means gravity. And I just repeat that. Whatever. And I'm running through an oxygen tank here, which I'm going to drop this med pack for, because I might need this later on, because there are some boss fights up ahead in this playthrough that I'm going to be fighting in a no oxygen zone, basically a vacuum, and I might need a refill. And honestly, I don't even know if I'm going to have enough air or oxygen in my tank to deal with these bosses, because that's how long they'll take for me to completely destroy. And especially with no upgrades on my weapon, I'm dealing minuscule damage with them at this point. And I hear a leaper in the area, and I don't know where he is, and it's kind of making me nervous. Yeah, there he is. And there's going to be 2 leapers while you're doing this puzzle. So, you'll want to take care of them first. They're hard to see. And there he goes. And he's still not dead. The MFer survived an explosive container. And for anybody wondering why I keep landing down on the surface, it's because I customized my controls, and I put the running button to L1. So, and it does make it a little bit more difficult for these plane sections. I gotta hold down R1 and L1 to fly faster in these 0G sections. And if I don't hold it down, if I try to tap it again to do a sprint, then I accidentally land on a flat surface. And there's another leaper. Apparently, 1 explosive canister doesn't deal with them anymore. These might be enhanced, I don't know. It's a little bit harder to tell if they're enhanced necromorphs or not in this game. It was a lot easier to tell in the original. And we're gonna put it in the hole like a man should, right there. There you go.
Generator module attached. Clutch engaged.
Grab that money.
Personnel clear for centrifuge restart.
I'm trying to find the panel that deactivates the 0G. And yeah, refill your stasis. If you're not doing this kind of challenge run, go and definitely abuse the refills on the stasis stations. Anyway, the refill stations. There we go. And I finally found the panel to deactivate the gravity.
Centrifuge activated. Re-establishing balance with tectonic load.
Looks like the centrifuge is back online.
And when you come down here, obviously don't get hit by that big thing. You're gonna make your way into these side rooms right here. And there's a slasher, which is about to get obliterated. Always nice to see. But when you enter this room right here, there's going to be a slasher right there. I just pulled out the tried and true Ripper on him. Don't forget to refill your oxygen. And when you go up this elevator, to your right, there's going to be a leaper. So be aware of him. He's pretty much on death's door, so I decided just to finish him off with a stomp. And right here, I don't know what I was thinking. I ended up using my oxygen tank so I could grab a med pack. I'm gonna really need those oxygen tanks, so I don't know what I was doing right there. I wasn't thinking. You know, I hope that does. I hope I don't pay the price for that. Now, through this door, you're gonna encounter your first tentacle section, and I used the pulse rifle, the secondary fire. And that'll deal with him. And I thought I reloaded, but when he dragged me, I guess it canceled it out. And there's like 2 more tentacle drag sections in this game, and I think it takes more damage to do. And I'm a little concerned about it because like, I don't know if my weapons are going to do enough damage against this thing. So when I get to it, and I might hit a dead end on this playthrough, because I watched Seraphim 17. His plasma cutter wasn't upgraded at all during that playthrough, and he had to pull some strings to get through it. So I don't know if my weapons are going to do anything. I might have to use a contact beam on those parts. And that's the thing about having real low inventory space, is that yes, I can use all the guns, but that each gun takes up an inventory slot, and I'm gonna have to be real strategic about what weapons I bring in what scenario. I need to go get the line gun and the contact beam, and I still have to get the flamethrower, which I'm about to get, by the way. But some weapons are gonna be better suited for encounters than others, and you know, I'll try to make a save file at the beginning of each chapter, so that way I can, you know, in case I do run into a roadblock, I can redo the chapter instead of having to restart the whole damn game again. So that's how I'm gonna tackle it. Another roadblock would be the first brute fight. That's in the next chapter. I know how to deal with the other brutes, but I'm not too sure about how I'm going to deal with the first brute.
Got it.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there, though, won't we?
Access to the engine chamber.
Entering 0 gravity.
Say, Hammond, I cracked the secure files. DC was here for more than just a mining claim, huh?
What do you mean?
This outbreak started on the colony after the miners dug up some artifacts.
When you deal with the circuit breaker right here,
but it
just
explain why Aegis 7 is meant to
deactivate the fans and activate the airlock, and there's a leaper that appears right behind you. Take care of him. One saw blade doesn't seem to do the trick, so I just use anything around me to finish him off.
Okay, back up. Where's this marker now?
In cargo. All packaged up for
And up ahead, we're gonna get the flamethrower, which has seen some improvements since the original. And you could probably just keep this flamethrower on you at all times. And that's how good it is. Especially the secondary fire, you can just block off enemies from getting to you. Most of them, anyways. There are a few exceptions, like the hunter and some armored enemies. And here it is. There's a crawling section right here where you gotta squeeze through the gaps, and I'm gonna speed this part up. And right here, this is probably the weakest jump scare I've ever seen in my life. This is very pitiful, dude. Like, come on, you could have done better than that. There's some side rooms on these floors right here that you want to be sure to explore. They got ammunition, they got credits. They'll become in handy for your playthrough. And you see those big glowing sacks on the wall? You don't have to use your ammunition on them. I couldn't find anything to get through that crack, so I ended up using just a few pulse rifle rounds. And right here, the little creepy crawlies, just use your flamethrower. The flamethrower just is perfect against these guys. And this guy has seen better days. And when you exit this room, be very careful, because on your right there's a necromorph that is playing possum. And I almost run right into him. Yeah, there he is. And I try to grab this fire hydrant, but it just disappears. Just like magic. And if you want to just double check to see if a necromorph is playing dead, just try to use kinesis to grab off one of his blades. And if it doesn't work, then yeah, he's still alive. He's just waiting for you. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this might be an enhanced necromorph, because look at his skin. It's kind of reddish. So he might be like an enhanced necromorph. In my first playthrough of this game, I ran into I think one of the ultra enhanced versions when I was doing a side mission, and that guy took a lot of punishment. This is a pregnant. So the flamethrower is probably the best weapon for this thing, because you don't want to hit him in the center, because if you do, then the creepy crawlies will bust out of him. And then you'll have to waste even more ammo. But yeah, the flamethrower, there's a stasis refill station right there, if you need it. You see those glowing yellow orb things right here. You have to destroy both of these to enter a room. And you don't have to enter this room, but there's some good stuff in there. Be sure to go in there and grab your stuff. And there's another necromorph playing dead. Guess they just didn't have their coffee today, right? Ooh, and he almost got me. Grab this metal pipe, and up this ramp, there's going to be a spitter and some creepy crawlies. Deal with the spitter first. Take care of him, and then, these guys get a little too close. I couldn't use the explosive there. So we just pull out the flamethrower on them. Works like a charm. And there's 2 explosives in this area that you can bring into the next area, and I did not do that. And I make a really bad edit cut right here. I save it and I go to the left right here, so that's what's going on. And in this room, I do have a problem what they did in the remake, because I think in the original, when you enter this room, you see all these slashers, like just, you know, chilling, and one of them's dragging a body across the floor in the original, and now in this game you don't see that, and that kind of irks me a little bit, because, you know, that might be a minor complaint, but it does get rid of the lore, because when these necromorphs are not killing people, when they're not busy doing, you know, murdering folks, they're gathering up bodies, and they pile these bodies up so the infection can make bigger monstrosities like the Brute. And oh, and look at that! I accidentally hit him in the torso, and this is what happens. And just stomped the last one, and he's still alive. Look at that. I don't want to waste any ammo on him, so I eventually just end up stomping him. But what I was saying is that the Brutes, the big enemies in this game, they're a combination of just a bunch of dead corpses. And that's what the marker signal does. And I'll explain what the marker is in case anybody doesn't know. But yeah, that's what they do, and that's what the slashers do when they're not busy killing people, is they just pile up bodies. And right here, I'm setting up shop. So when I put the battery in the battery hole, shit's gonna hit the fan. And that corner that I just put those explosives at, that's where you're gonna want to camp.
Replace power cell to begin ignition sequence.
It is like they don't spawn back there. It's probably the safest spot as long as you're on the ball. And gather as many explosives, some blades, sharp objects, whatever you want. This is the spot. I'm just gonna fast forward through all this. This is just me gathering some stuff up, picking up ammunition, exploring the room, which you should be doing, adding stuff to the pile. And now I went back and saved it, but I cut it out. So we put the battery in and let the fun begin. And this is how it goes. All that setting up, it all pays off. Like I said, this corner is the best spot just to sit down. And yeah, that's pretty much it. This is me dismantling these guys. This is the strategy. This guy gets a little too close. I could have used the Ripper to keep him away from me. So that if he does get up close to you, use the Ripper.
Priming ignition chamber. Please stand by. Finalizing pre-ignition.
But yeah, in the next chapter, I gotta deal with the Brute somehow, because the reason why I'm worried about it is because the Brute is fast in this game, and the first time I beat him, I had to use Stasis to slow him down and get behind him. But this time, however, I don't have Stasis. I can't use it in this playthrough. So it's going to be interesting on how I handle the situation. Yeah, take a look at this guy. The necromorphs are just horrendous looking.
Isaac, you did it.
Honestly, man, if I was in this situation, stuck on a ship, a breaking down ship to be exact, full of these monsters, man, I'd be pissing my pants. And be aware, in the central room right here, there's some necromorphs waiting for you. I believe there's another one coming down that hallway. And yeah, we're pretty much done. And we're coming up to the end of the chapter. We made it. So I will see you in chapter 4. You have a nice day. Goodbye.